Defensive player that you're extremely high on after this spring.
All right, talked to Jim Nagy, Oklahoma fans. Yeah. Talked to him yesterday. He's high on our. Again, this is another kid. I've not seen film on in a long time. I remember his film out of high school, Nolensville High School in Brentwood, Tennessee. Taylor Wine, defensive end, is a Brent Venables guy going into his redshirt sophomore year. Did not play a lot his first 2 years. This is the year. I think Jim Nagy was saying that's someone who's going to blow up for us that we need. He's a guy that fits into Brent's system. He's a guy that sits 2 to 3 years, understands the system, has gotten better each year, has gotten stronger each year. He's a guy that I like this one because you don't hear a lot of people talk about this because this is a guy that's going to be going into his third year in the program. In today's college football world, hell, in the world in general,
you're done.
We're all wanting immediate gratification. So if a true freshman doesn't play well his first year, a transfer comes in his first year, doesn't play well, he's just forgotten. We forget about these guys now, but Brent Venables relies on these type of guys, even going back to his defensive coordinator days at Clemson and even prior to Oklahoma, where he's just the DC there. But no, talking to Jim Nagy, we all know, trust his evaluation skills. I think this kid could be a big, big contributor, especially in that front seven for the Sooners at 25.
I look at Gabriel Brownlow-Dindy leaving College Station and going to Columbia. They need help on that defensive line. He's a veteran that had offers from every school in the country coming out of high school and eventually went down there for the historic 2022 class. Never was able to find his footing on the field, but the skill set is there. You talk to anybody about what his upside is and how he plays the game and how well he is able to rush the quarterback and what he looks like in practice. There's so much to like about that. But the problem is when you go to a major school like Texas A&M or even Oklahoma, you got to realize that if you don't immediately start to flash, you kind of get buried down the depth chart. And that 5-star rating, it goes out the window almost instantaneously. But when you go to a program that needs help with some veterans after losing TJ Sanders and Tonka Hemingway and letting Kyle Kennard go, and you still are going to believe that your defense underneath Clayton White can be such an impactful force to where South Carolina, we can say whatever we want about what they've lost. The expectations out in Columbia are not changing. Willie B is expected to host a playoff game, I would say, within the next 2 years because of what the foundation they've established underneath Shane Beamer with Lenore Sellers, especially if Sellers comes back next year. If I can get the version that I saw on tape and the way that I've heard about him coming out of camp for 12 games, you can have one bad game, but let me just go 10 games. How about for that matter? And he ends up being a 7.5 sack guy, 10.5 tackles for losses. He's winning in his pressure rates. He's eliminating the run game. Do you know what a wonder that's going to do for your linebacking core, what that's going to do for your secondary, what that's going to do to be able to put pressure on quarterbacks when there's a third down situation, when you're on the road playing against Missouri and Columbia, when you have to take on Ole Miss, when you have to go travel to Baton Rouge, Louisiana? To me, just Gabriel Brownlow-Dindy, I've seen what the skill set is. I think that he may eventually actually lead to that level. There's always that one or two players in the NFL or college football. This is the year that I'm finally going to quit you. This is the year where I have to quit Gabriel Brownlow-Dindy. But I'm willing to give him one more shot because if he's going to a system that I think is really going to fit for him. Yeah,
I love this kid out of high school. We were heavy on him. So Lakeland, Florida kid. Yeah, I'm right. You're right. I'm fired up to see what he can do in Mike Elko's second year. They're going to need him to step up with some of the losses they had on the defensive line.